welcome back to Box on the Box, Rock and Celluloid, Bot for short. I'm Edward Box. Let's talk about my top 10 sci-fis. So part 1 had This Island Earth at number 10. Number 9 was Forbidden Planet. Number 8, Minority Report. Number 7, Children of Men. And number 6, The Terminator. That could have been replaced with any number of films. Love the sci-fi genre. So coming in at number 5, it's actually a film I watched recently, quite randomly. I was just scouring Netflix and I was like, actually, I have not seen this film in a long time, so I'm going to watch it. I'll be honest with you, I probably maybe don't enjoy it as much as I used to, but it's a film that's been a big part of my life, and it's the first kind of proper film other than James Bond, the sort of pictures. It came out actually in the UK in 1978, not 77. It's not Star Wars. I mentioned before, Star Wars is space opera, space fantasy. That's why it's not making the sci-fi cut. That's a whole other top 10 Star Wars. And it was my brother's birthday. He would have been 12. It would have been his 12th birthday. We went. My mum thought, I'm going to be bored with this, but she loved it. And I think it shows the skill of the filmmaker in how he can tell stories that connect with people. And that's why he's probably still the most successful filmmaker of all time. And of course, I'm talking about Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters. What I love about this film is... the Richard Dreyfuss character is playing someone older than his real age. Roy Neal was born 1944, but Dreyfuss was born 48. But it's that thing where he's kind of fallen into family life very quickly. I mean, his kids, how old's the oldest one? I don't know, 8, 9. So in the film, Roy Neal is 34. He's probably gone to uni, he's got married, he's had kids at 25, he's got a mortgage. And the experience with the aliens offers a kind of boy's adventure. What he does is completely irresponsible. He leaves his family and goes off in a fucking spaceship. I'm not giving away the ending. But like Jaws, completely irresponsible Roy Scheider. Oh, I'll go and leave my young son. I'll leave my wife and my elder son. And I'll go off and try and kill like a fucking lethal shark. And it's kind of like the immaturity of the male, really, of the species. But it's a great film. I love the bits. I mean, there's a bit where they go UFO spotting, kind of mid-film. And they're on the road and the cops turn up. But you can tell it's a studio set. And what I love about that is it's kind of touching base with 50s sci-fi. So you get bits in Invaders from Mars and This Island Earth, where they'll have a car on a hill or something. It's obviously in the studio. And it's got a lovely artifice and the bits in the base at the end. Again, that's a big aircraft hangar. You can see the artifice, but it's really well done. But there's something reassuring about it for me. And there's also the bit where Melinda Dillon's son goes off in the spaceship. And again, she's out on the kind of farm type house. And again, it looks like a studio set. And the sky looks a bit false, but in a really cool way. Very moving, this film. It's got that power. When the aliens come out, I still fill up. The idea that, we could be nice, that we wouldn't be fearful, that they would be chuffed to meet us and go, hey, we're returning these people, the top, and do you want to come off in our spaceship? Because now, if aliens landed, we'd just do something horrible because we're shit, In the UK, we vote to annex ourselves from Europe, if we're going to annex ourselves from Europe, we're going to annex ourselves from spacemen, aren't we? Anyway. But we'll not get into that. But, it's a great film. John Williams' score's amazing. It's quite long. I mean, the scenes I felt went on a bit too long. There's a bit where he's trashing the house and this family drive off and then he's building his mound. It's quite odd, but that's the odd thing with 70s films. Star Wars is the same. The pacing's actually quite slow in Jaws. And younger people can't get this now. These films, modern blockbusters, they just throw stuff. What's weird about the modern blockbuster is they're often at least half an hour longer than the films that were blockbuster for us. They cram more information in, but kids get bored of slower-paced films that are shorter. But give you all the information and emotion you need. But it's a time thing. We grew up in a different era. I'm glad I grew up in the era I did in a lot of ways. I think we had some great cinema. It's a Close Encounters number 5. Number 4. Okay, so again, this could be an action film. And I mentioned the director before. But this is this was the first summer blockbuster I remember read about. I was like, I so need to see this film. I went to see the pictures. It didn't disappoint. Yeah, some of the effects look shit. It was the most expensive film ever made at that point, but what's cool about it is you've got this great action spectacle, you've got this fantastic action star, but it uses his star persona really well, but it's got this fucking cool sci-fi idea from Philip K. Dick, and I'm talking about Total Recall. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So originally this was planned to do, David Cronenberg was going to do it with Richard Dreyfuss. It was obviously going to be more cerebral. Then Verhoeven comes on board. RoboCop, he's done this great kind of like sci-fi satire, and he brings those satirical elements into this, but just tones them down a bit. It's laugh out loud funny, this film. But the great thing, it uses Arnie's like this, like, yeah, he's like a construction worker and he just goes to work. And what it does as the film progresses, he becomes more like the Arnie we know. He's breaking necks. He's fucking sticking, spikes in people's necks. He's, skewering people with drills. I fucking love it. I love Michael Ironside. Ronnie Cox is hilarious. Sharon Stone's fantastic. Rachel Ticonti is great. Demure. How do you like your women? Athletic, demure. These people need air. Love it. And again, I didn't mention it before, but Forbidden Planet has the ancient alien technology on the planet, and this copies that. So when he goes up into Mars and he sees the thing that will give them oxygen, but it's that satire on capitalism. Why give people free air when you can sell it to them? And think about that. Think about how we buy bottled water. I can go and drink water, perfectly good water from my tap, but idiots just go out and buy it in bottles and then fuck the ocean up. Obviously, in countries that don't have proper drinking water, bottled water's necessary, or good drinking water supply. In our country, you don't need to buy bottled water. But yeah, you'll end up buying air and healthcare that was free. Why is that? Because you're fucking dickheads. But anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, Total Recall, love it. Love Verhoeven's direction. Yeah, some of the effects are pretty ropey, but they're cool. That Rob Bottin, with Quato, cool. And then get ready for a surprise, exploding head. Yeah, really, really cool film. And I actually went to see it twice at the pictures. There was a Die Hard 2 was coming out that summer. I love Die Hard. And I went to the pictures to see Die Hard 2 double bill. It was sold out. So I had to sit in Total Recall on my own between couples. But that's fine. Just say fantastic Jerry Goldsmith score as well. And now films always go straight into the film. They just go like, if it was made now, I go Total Recall. And that's probably what the remake does, which is a bit pants, to be honest. But it has that build-up, have those fantastic credits and that theme, and it just G's you up for the film. So number 3, probably no surprise here, out-and-out classic. And it had a fantastic sequel in 2017 from Denis Villeneuve. Of course, I'm talking about Blade Runner. Not much point in me going on about this. You could read up endlessly about this. Get Paul Salmon's book, Future Noir, if you want to know about all the ins and outs of Blade Runner. I think Ridley Scott's The Final Cut's the definitive cut. I think it's better without the voiceover. It's better with the CGI sky when he lets off the dove. People think the director's cut's overseen by Ridley Scott, but that's actually what's called a work print, I think. And so although Ridley Scott was like, yeah, that's cool, but he kind of approved his Final Cut thing. Staggering imagery, fantastic performances from Rutger Harrison Ford, Edward James Olmos, Daryl Hannah, Joanna Cassidy, really good. Again, like Children of Man, in some ways captures where we're at. The 1%. Things kind of very prevalent, living up in the sky. Think about London, think about how expensive cities are. I think it captures that. I think the fusion of culture, the kind of street food scenes, to call them, very, very prevalent. Incredible achievement by Ridley Scott with his team. Very controversial. What he did, on the set, real taskmaster, but amazing looking film, amazing atmosphere. And again, Blade Runner 2049, some people think it may be better. I mean, you've got to have this to get there. It's like Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, But I'm looking forward to watching 2049 again. I haven't seen it since I saw the pictures, but brilliant, awesome. Yeah, Blade Runner, endless things we could say about that. Yeah, so that could have been number 2, but just pipping it. I did a feature on this whole series of films. I'm not had many views, but anyway. But Planet of the Apes is my number 2. Obviously, I love the new trilogy. But the original is still the best. It's got fantastic ideas. It explores issues within the society of America at the time. Still love the ending. Love Charlton Heston. The makeup's fantastic. It's really well directed. It's one of those films where you get a journeyman director, but he makes a few really good films. He makes an absolute bell with this. Fantastic Jerry Goldsmith score. Very experimental, but really cool. I mean, Goldsmith's done, a couple of great sci-fi scores and the Star Trek ones as well. But I love Planet of the Apes. It's still got a power for me. And it's got a wit about it as well, and some horrific elements, and it's just a clever film. It's a film. It's a popular blockbuster film that's clever, and you don't get that now. Often you just get, particularly the superhero genre. Gotta sound like an old man here, but you just get a lot of noise. You could have Marvel within this as sci-fi films, but I'm not really banging into the Marvel thing, even though I've seen virtually all the films. I think only one I haven't seen is Captain Marvel. Okay, so we got to number 1. Let's recap from number 10, This Island Earth. Number 9, Forbidden Planet. 8, Minority Report. 7, Children of Men. 6, The Terminator. 5, Close Encounters. 4, Total Recall. 3, Blade Runner. 2, Planet of the Apes. I think what stands out about this is all these films, apart from the 250s one, and Planet Apes and the one I'm about to mention, all have stellar directors who are auteurs, I suppose, who have a filmography that is big, and you would watch all their films. Like I said, Planet Apes, Franklin J. Schaffner, there's Patton, there's Papillon, there's those three, and the Planet Apes, those 3 quality films. But he doesn't have the filmography or the innovation of the other filmmakers I mentioned. So what's number 1? Well, it's bloody obvious, isn't it? It's 2001: A Space Odyssey. I can see that my clock is going to run out, and I've just got to number 1. But basically, again, filming the future, Pierce Brosnan. If you want to know all about 2001, it's a film that keeps it rewarding on viewing. It does leave you cold in places, but it's a staggering achievement in film design, in film production, sound effects. And it's still one of those benchmark films. It's a film that will be making top 10 lists of all-time films for the rest of time, probably, along with Citizen Kane and stuff like that. Kubrick's the master detail. He's the guy that other directors look up to in terms of execution, in terms of getting a vision on screen, and he's probably the most auteur of all auteur filmmakers. So 2001: A Space Odyssey is my number 1. Sorry I can't talk about it more. See ya.